So everybody's got a copy of the book, which is fantastic. I hope you get a chance to read it. I'm not going to talk about the book per se. Today I'll talk about a couple of things that are in the book, but I figure you can read the book, and hopefully you will. So I'm going to talk more specifically about B2B and destroying the 7 myths of B2B social media. And the third myth, how B2C uses social media doesn't apply. And I have done a fair amount of speaking at B2B conferences, and every once in a while someone comes up to me at the happy hour. I don't know why they always put me at the end right before the bar, and they always say, well, that was great, but you used some examples that were B2C. Get over it. I'm going to use some examples in this presentation that are B2C. I'm going to offend your territorial sensibilities, okay? You're making way too big a deal out of this, okay? Let's do a little exercise, okay? I want to hear your answers to these questions, or I'm going to keep talking. Do you have customers? Yes. Do you have prospective customers? Yes. Do you have employees? Yes. Do you have competitors? Yes. Do you hate them? Do you have a story to tell? Yes. Then guess what? You have the raw materials for social media. And it doesn't matter whether you're B2B or B2C. It doesn't matter. It is not relevant. Okay? This is the success process. Okay? I have boiled this down, but I'm in the boiling down business. This is how I look at social media. This is how I look at the social media success process. Obviously, there's a lot of additional nuance and operationalizing of this to take it global and the things that Todd and Lauren talked about a moment ago. But ultimately, right, I should just give you the slide and just stop. Ultimately, what you need to do is harvest stories about your company and your customers, okay? That storytelling humanizes your company. Humanization creates kinship, creates a bond between you and your customers and prospective customers that otherwise wouldn't exist. That kinship drives purchase from new customers and repeat purchase from existing customers. And when those purchases occur, it allows you to harvest additional stories. And you go back to the beginning. Okay? That's the deal. And it doesn't matter whether you're selling hamburgers or servers. It doesn't matter whether you're selling ball bearings, right, or Twizzlers. I do some work with Caterpillar. There's a sexy organization, and they do an amazing job in social media. Not because of me, they are amazing at it. And they're selling like multi-million-dollar tractors to dig out mines. But each of those tractors has a story to tell, okay? That's what it's about. It's about telling stories. And that storytelling isn't easy, right? And it certainly isn't free. I'm glad a couple people mentioned it earlier. Social media is not inexpensive, okay? What does it take to become a Facebook fan? It takes, as far as I know, 1 click of 1 finger. Okay, that is not a blood oath. Right? That is not a murder-suicide pact. That is not getting a tattoo. It's 1 click. It takes way more effort, literally, way more effort on the part of a prospect or a customer to sign up for an email newsletter, way more than it does to become a Facebook fan. Yet, how many conferences are we having about the size of your email list? Probably not enough, actually. Okay? The reason Facebook fans and Twitter followers are so popular as a metric is because they're right there on the page. You don't have to run any reports. So you can look at what all your other competitors have every day and freak out about that. But what's weird is that 87% of B2B companies are using Facebook pages or LinkedIn pages. But what percentage of those are doing it well? What percentage of those are actually giving fans any sort of assignment or call to action or behavior? It's about behavior, not aggregation. It's not about identifying your customers. You already have a database. You don't need Facebook for that. It's about taking those people and making them do something that makes you money. That's why I loved the case study earlier about CDW. It's perfect, right? It's about behavior, not tagging your fans like a bald eagle just because they clicked 1 button. It's crazy. Tools change. right? Tools always change. I've been in digital marketing since 1994, as mentioned in my introduction, and the only thing I know is that the tools always change. Right? At one point, I would have been up here talking about MySpace and no one would have laughed. Thank you. Or Friendster, or Second Life, right? People literally thought it was a good idea to make a cartoon town that they should sell software in. Like, yeah, seriously? I mean, straight face, right? Cartoon town. In 1999, long ago, but not really, in 1999, Yahoo had 55% of the search engine business in the United States. 55% of search. Number 2 is Excite. Number 3, Alta Vista. Then InfoSeek, and then Lycos. Anybody use their Lycos toolbar today? Probably not so much. 55%. And I owned a digital agency in 1999, and I can tell you firsthand that we thought this game was over. Yahoo has won. Yahoo has won the search game. Send in the trophy, right? And then another company came along. Some of you may use them to search for things today. They're not on this chart. It's something Oogle, right? And they came along and changed the game seemingly overnight. And last December, Yahoo sold the remains, the smoking wreckage of their search business to Microsoft for like $8 and an English muffin. It was basically like, just take it off our hands. Just please take it, right? They went from a 55% market share to a 0% market share in 11 years, which is hard to do on purpose, actually, but they managed to do it accidentally. And this is not an indictment of Yahoo. They've been kicked around enough lately. But what it is a reminder that the tools always change, okay? And if you believe that into the future it's going to be the big four, it's going to be Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and LinkedIn, you're wrong. Because they will either screw it up themselves, or they will sell or go public, and the markets will screw it up for them. Okay? But it's not always going to be like this. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't do Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, but you also shouldn't be building your house on rented land either. Okay? You're much better off as a company figuring out how to be social and worrying less about how to do social media. What kind of relationship do you want to have with your customers and prospects? That's the question. Social media just allows you to make that relationship a reality. And that's actually what the book is about how to be social.